So tonight I'm really excited. I have a special guest that is going to join me. Many of you probably know I have one sister, Shelley, and Shelley is my younger baby sister. I'm 3 years older than my sister. Maybe I shouldn't say that because now you know her age. I'm sure she doesn't care. We're gonna have some deep stuff. Now I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna share stuff, and then my sister will share what she wants. My sister and I we're a lot alike, but I say we're very different too. My cute sister, you guys. So this is Shelley. There's Shelley. Hello. So are you comfortable? Do you need another pillow? You want two pillows?
Yeah.
Let's get comfortable, right? Okay, so Shelley, where are you from?
Hickory, North Carolina.
Do you have an accent?
Not at all.
What the freak? So one of the things that Shelley and I are very similar on is we grew up in the same house. And so it's kind of interesting how different we are, but similar we are, right? And the one thing I love about Shelley is Shelley is like a great sister. She was not a great younger sister. Like when we were growing up, one time, you want to tell them what you did?
No.
Can I tell them? Okay. I was afraid of my sister, you guys. Like, she was a big bully. Like, she would chase me around.
Just to her.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, whatever. She chased me with a knife before. What I thought I would share about is one of the things that I guess we never talked about for a lot of years is the fact that, and this is something I'm sharing because when I wrote my book, Shelley didn't read it for a while.
Mm-mm.
So one of the things that Shelley and I, for years, we're going to get a little deep, and if I share too much, you can just hit me really hard. So our mom suffered from mental illness, depression. And I've talked about the electric shock therapies. It's kind of crazy. You said this to me before, but do you really feel like sometimes I felt like I was your mom?
Yes.
You felt like that?
Mm-hmm.
Other than I didn't cook for you, did I?
You didn't want her cooking.
Okay, so tell me how was I a mom to you?
You came to my ball games. You took me where me and my friends wanted to go.
Aww. I did do that.
Mm-hmm.
So did you ever feel like you raised yourself after I left? Because I went off to college, you guys. I don't know if you know this, but did you know that Mom wouldn't pick me up from school?
She didn't, me either.
And I had to walk home.
I did too.
Really? You
Mm-hmm.
had that too? Do you feel like that made us more independent, or do you think it made us more, what do you think? For me, it made me I felt lonely a lot, but I don't know if you did. You had friends. You guys, Shelley had friends. I would consider you popular, where I wasn't.
I don't know about that.
But you had friends. You hung out with people.
You didn't want anybody too close because you didn't want them to realize what we were going through.
That's true. I think but do you feel like you were ever didn't want to bring people to the house? Did you ever feel that?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And so Shelley was feisty. So in all honesty, I've had people ask, so my mother was often my dad was mentally not only mentally but physically abusive, and Shelley was feisty. So I would do anything so that my dad wouldn't hit me or do anything. And my sister, you weren't as afraid of that, and so you got more physical stuff than I ever did.
Mm-hmm.
And just to be very honest, and if there's any little kids on here, don't watch this, but I was the one that my dad chose to sexually abuse. He never one time, right? Did you know?
Because I think he thought I would talk because I told everything.
Yeah, and he threatened me, and so I thought my dad would hurt my sister and my mom. That's what I was worried about. because he always told Mom he was going to kill her. Like, we just grew up with that. Do you feel like, did you know what was going on? Did you ever, you had no doubt, like you didn't know? So, our dad, do you remember what age you were when Dad and Mom got married? Okay, so for those of you who may not know, our dad, Jerry, I'm not going to say last names because it doesn't matter, but Jerry was, let's just say he was a little, he wasn't on the honest side in his business with dealings, right? And we grew up, do you ever remember getting shot at? Down at the, do you remember that? I was going to ask you.
Shot at, no.
So we were, I don't know if you remember this, so we had a house, we called it the house lake? What did we call that?
Lake house.
The lake house. And my dad was always into some stuff, and it was a secure gated community, and I just remember one time, my sister was pretty young, and there were some people chasing my dad, and we had to get down on the ground in the cabin because there were shots being fired. You don't remember that? I remember that one. That was scary. But anyway, so there was a lot of physical abuse, especially with our moms. Like, it was crazy, you guys. It was not. I look back on it now and I go, how did we do that, right? But we're both not victims. And that's the thing, like, I wanted to get on here with my sister, because I'm going to be honest with you, like, the thing that, and I don't know why we're this way, but I think it made us better mothers, because we didn't have a mom, you guys. Like, we would come home, and if Mom was home, she was in bed asleep. Like, I'm not kidding. She was not making food for us. No. Like, she wasn't taking us anywhere. We were just kind of on our own. We literally did not. I remember oftentimes we were locked out of the house. Like, we'd come home and, like, we would walk home, and then we'd wait, and it was just kind of like a really different upbringing. But I don't think it made us, like, not, if anything, I think it made us better mothers. I think it made us more compassionate, like, and I'll be honest, like, I was really embarrassed for many, many, many years. I didn't want anybody to know what we were going through. And I remember when I went out to college, I was the first time I told someone what had happened with my dad, because I told my mom by then, and my mom didn't believe us. And she would go, he's the love of my life. And I was like, oh, well, you know, but I think sometimes we make excuses for people. Do you believe that? Like, I don't know. And did you ever feel like Dad was a dad to you?
No.
And see, that's how I felt. I felt like we kind of didn't have parents, which is kind of crazy. And that's just, my mom and Dad finally got divorced. I was 12. Do you remember that? What did you think when he finally moved out? Do you remember?
Relief. I mean,
I know.
What
Me
child
too.
wants a parent to divorce? But we did.
Yeah, we were like, yes, he's gone. Do you remember that? I remember going, yes. And Mom was hospitalized. Do you remember when he chased her one time and she fell down and broke her ankle and was in the hospital? And we went in hiding. Like, I mean, it was crazy. But here's the thing. We loved our mom.
Yeah.
We loved our mom. And we've had a lot of conversations because Mom died of a brain aneurysm when she was 52. And Shelley's 2 daughters happened to be at the house the night that our mom passed away, which is kind of crazy. Like, because it was kind of, we both believe things happen for a reason. We just do. One of the things that I've never talked about this story, by the way, ever. One of the things that I've shared before is that my mom called me that morning. It was a Saturday. I will never forget that, right? And Shelley and I basically almost became her mom. Like, Shelley was still living in Hickory, where my mom lived. I was living in Murray, Utah, where I, married to Tyler, and we had. It was kind of crazy because my mom was. She was really trying, but I don't think she was ever she just had a lot. Like I said, when you go through so much, and so I think we just tried to just go, well, that was mom, if that makes sense. And I applaud my sister, because my sister actually lived closer and dealt with that. And you had well, I sort of say, as a grandmother to the kids, did you ever feel like, I've never asked you this, but did you feel like mom was like a grandmother to your kids?
She was, if I would be there with them.
Yeah.
She didn't want to keep them by herself.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know if that was, I don't want to say too much trouble or.
Yeah. So I have a question then, because this is interesting to me. Because you have how many grandchildren?
One, and one on the way.
What? Are you so excited?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Lawson is a cutie. So how has our upbringing affected you now that you're a grandmother and a mother? What did you take from that?
I'm very active in here.
Yeah.
I go to every ball game, every practice, every school play, daycare, whatever. I'm there, everything.
Do you think that's because our mom didn't ever go to any of our stuff?
Yep.
And that you wanted...
But it's not that. I want to be there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know if it was from her never being there, but I'm there with him. If I have to get out and run the bases with him to get him to do it, I do it.
Yeah, exactly. And so Shelley and I talked about this, and we feel like... And we really feel this way. And you guys, I'm not just saying this, and we're so lightly sharing what it was like for us. We were talking last night, and I've shared this, I didn't eat food. I didn't have, I don't know. Do you think it was just, a lot of it was our mom wasn't able to work because of her, her mental stuff, right? So she would work, and then she wouldn't work, and then she would, and so we didn't have heat at times. We had sometimes kerosene heaters. Sometimes there was no food in the house. And when did you start working? I started working when I was 12 to earn money to have food and different things. I would do little jobs to earn money to actually buy food.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we were
I was probably 12 or 13.
Yeah, 12 or 13. I don't think I've ever shared that. So we started working, and luckily, I mean, we did everything. We would bake, we would do anything we could to earn money. And so Shelley and I both were that way, but it's kind of interesting. I was saying that I think a lot of my issues with food was the scarcity of not having food or not having heat was a big thing. And so now, Shelley and I, we're just so appreciative. I think one of the things that we did in January, we went on our first vacation together ever, you guys. We went on a 11-day cruise. What did you it was your first cruise. What did you think?
I loved it.
Yes! I got her hooked, you guys. She even said, I will go on a cruise every year for the rest of my life. But I want you to know that, we're so happy. Right? Are we not happy? She thinks I'm on drugs. She thinks I'm on drugs. Therapy. That's a good question. I went through therapy. Have you?
No.
What? You have never went through therapy? Have you shared with people, how did you get through the trauma? You just, we talk.
Well, you either follow the path or you change what you didn't like, and I just had to change it.
Yes, exactly. So Shelley has 2 daughters, okay? I have 5 children by birth. Her two children, I don't want to mention their names just because so her 2 daughters are Gentry and McKay's age. So my kids know. So very close in age. And so we grew up a lot, you know, just doing that. And like, I will tell you, like, I think because of what we went through, we were just like, we're going to be the best moms. Like, I didn't miss anything, you guys. Like, I literally talk to my kids pretty much every day because I want to be present. I think that's a big thing. You guys, my sister and I are very different, which is kind of funny. Like, how would you say we're different? Okay, I'm not going to answer this. How are we different?
Well, I'm not comfortable on here.
You could tell, yeah. But
it was so funny because you used to be so shy and I wasn't.
I told people that. They don't believe me.
But not that I'm shy. It's just that I guess some of the upbringing, I have to trust you to bring you into my bubble, my world.
Oh.
I just don't accept everybody in.
Do you think I accept everybody in?
Oh, yes.
It's been a problem, you guys. Like, I want to connect with people because I didn't have friends. So the other way I think we're different is Shelley can fire people. You can be tough if you have to be. Where I tend to be like, I'm an empath. Do you know what an empath is? Are you an empath?
Mm-mm.
Do you care what people think of you?
Yes.
But you don't let people see that.
I care, but if I have a job to do, that comes first.
Yeah, that's kind of true. That's true. You guys, I'm not kidding. I was so painfully shy. Like, I would look down. I would, like, if I had to go, Mom would make me go talk to people. Like, and you were the outgoing
But
one.
I do my kids that way.
Yeah.
When they went off to college or anything, they would call me to schedule their haircuts or their appointments. And I'm like, no, it's time that you have to do this.
Yes. Yeah.
They still hate doing it, but they will do it.
That's kind of true.
But I did have to call, and one time Miranda got a haircut. Well, I said her name. Anyway, she got a haircut that she didn't like. She called me upset, but she'd even paid and tipped the girl.
Yeah.
I had to call back to the salon and say, no, you didn't give her what she wanted. It's not fair. And they had to refund her money.
So you were Mama Bear.
I was a mama bear.
You were Mama Bear. That is so funny that you did that. So a couple of things that, like, I feel like I've had people, a lot of people, because I meet a lot of people, and I talk to Shelley about it a lot when they're talking about, like, a lot of people have not been able to kind of overcome and maybe forgive people and different things, and which is kind of, I don't know, I think I've always been attracted to people, like, in relationships too, like, that I'm gonna fix them, because I tried to fix my mom. I tried to fix I never tried to fix my dad, but, like, if that makes sense, I really wanted to try to do that, where that was just my nurturing. But also for Shelley, like she said, like, I would go to Shelley's games. I went to Shelley's things because I became Shelley's mother, even though I was so young. I just remember being fiercely protective of Shelley. And so, are you okay if I share?
I don't care.
Okay.
I will tell my story. I just don't tell it to everybody.
But I'm just saying, but are you okay with what you know what I'm going to share?
I don't know these people, so it doesn't bother me.
Okay. So, because, I mean, it's been something like, so just tell me again when you found out, because I remember I was literally, I had a meeting when you messaged me about what you had found out.
Last year.
Was it last year? How
Yeah.
many months ago has it been?
It was around Thanksgiving.
Okay. It must have been. Okay. So
Because we were in Texas in October.
yes. Okay, you guys. So we were, and it kind of makes me emotional because I felt like we loved our mom. We're going to say that before you say anything else. But our mom was very, Mom kind of thought of Mom, like, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know if that's because she grew up that way. And I don't want to say it in a bad way, but, like, Mom always, I think because she was hurt and had went through so much, I think, you know, there were just a lot of times when we were like, is that really the truth, or is that what's going on? But our mom was a good mom. I mean, this is what we believe. We believe she was just doing the best she could with what she had dealt with. Our grandmother, we love, Nellie. Nellie, do you remember? Okay.
I remember back, Mom was a part of, like when we get home, she would get home from work, she would play with us and stuff, but what she dealt with Dad pushed her to the point where she shut down. And then, so I don't blame Mom, I blame Dad.
Me too. That's so funny.
I blame him.
I do too.
And, you know, sad to say, when I walk by his grave, I walk by it to get to hers. I never stop to visit his. I don't do the flowers. I don't sit and talk to him in my mind.
I don't either.
He wasn't a dad. I don't know why I still call him Dad, but that's just a reference.
It's a reference. But if are you like me? I feel like I didn't have a dad. I'd
have rather not known a dad at all than to have him.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you guys, he was very, very abusive to us in many, many ways, and other people. So, with that in mind, just so you know, a little backstory that if you don't know, our mother was having electric shock therapy. She was in and out of the hospital. She was on medication, oh my gosh, forever. We would have had a younger brother. Actually,
I think it was
in between us, and my dad beat her so bad when he found out she was pregnant that she lost the little boy. I think she was 16 to 20 weeks along. They could tell what the sex was, and he beat her, so she lost the baby. So our mother was, you know, just so you know, like, that's why I think some people, like, we always defend our mom because she was doing the best she could. But I don't know if you know this, but the hospital said that she had a mental breakdown. And do they still use that term now? I don't think they do. So I don't know what they would call it now. 6 months ago, and then I said, hey, Shelley, I think it's time that we do our ancestry DNA. I had done mine. Okay, I could tell like exactly where I could come from, and I was so excited about it, and I pulled out the computer. Shelley and I were together, and I said, look. And so Shelley said, okay. For many years, we just kind of questioned things like what was going on. And
because there was always rumors.
There's rumors. We had heard some rumors. Part of me was wondering, like, was Jerry my dad? By the way, Jerry. And I even thought, I was like, because I go, okay. And then sometimes I thought, well, is Shelley Jerry's daughter? Are we both adopted? We just really didn't know. We would hear things from relatives, and they would say things, and we didn't kind of know. And Shelley and I were always together, so we were like, and I think you look like Mom. I think you look like our mother, even though she had dark hair and you've got dark complexion. I felt like, for me, did you think I look like Jerry, by the way?
Mm-hmm.
You do? You more than Mom? Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So anyway, so Shelley orders the what do you call that? DNA test?
Yeah.
And we take it, and I should say Shelley took it. So Shelley calls me, and like I said, I was in a meeting, and I remember did you call me or did you send me a text?
I probably tried to call and you didn't answer, so I sent you a text.
Yeah,
maybe.
And I just remember getting it and sobbing. Do you know that? It just really made me sad because I felt like that we deserved to know. And it really just made me sad. But I want you to know.
Don't cry.
Okay, so what we found out was that our mom had not been honest with us, and that we are not biological full sisters, even though we were told we were. Even though we both had heard things before. Then we get the test, and we find out that Jerry's not your dad. There's no way he's your dad. So my question for you, and being completely honest with me, because you probably, how did you feel then? Like, yeah, just if you feel comfortable sharing, like, was it relief? Was it sadness? What, I mean,
it was sadness, but at the same time, I was like, for me, nothing's changed. For you say for you, nothing changed. And finally, I mean, really, the relief was that we found out the truth after all these years.
Yeah.
Of suspicion.
Yeah.
But then the next question was, do I contact him?
You guys, we see this differently.
So you tell your side.
Okay, I'm gonna tell my side, and like this is the Lifetime movie, you guys. So you guys, my sister is biologically my half sister, because my dad and her dad are not the same, and I found out at the age of 51. It's been a long time. We didn't know. Like, I honestly, because Mom said one time to me, and so I never talked to Shelley about it. Like, we never talked about this, like, until later. And I think the only reason why we said anything to each other was we always heard, you guys don't look like sisters. Because people would go, Shelley looks like your mom. You look like a Bill. Like my dad's name was Jerry Bill. So I would hear that I look like a Bill. And I have... So Jerry Bill had 3 children that I know of. Was there more?
That's all what we know.
That we know of. Jerry Bill was married when my mother became pregnant with me at the age of 18. She had me when she was 19. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Jerry was married. He was 14 years older than my mother. Not a nice person. But I am biologically, and honest to goodness, I took the ancestry DNA because I was hoping that he wasn't my dad, to be honest. You are not biologically his daughter. You are biologically another man's daughter that he's still alive.
As far as I know.
Okay. I will say I have seen this man one time. How many times have you seen him?
Twice.
Who does he look like?
I look like him in a lot of ways.
Yes. Do you know if he's still married?
I have no idea.
Did he have children?
I would think so, yes.
Yeah, you think so, but you don't really.
Not 100%.
So Shelley knows his name. When you did the ancestor, and I haven't asked you this, I waited. When you did the test, could you tell, like, did you have people that, like, obviously are okay? Mm-hmm. Do you know if you have
the same last name? I'm kin to some of the same last names.
Okay, so you know now that the person that Mom slipped and said something to you about one time. So you are deciding you are not going to contact him.
No.
Because?
He knows of me.
Mm-hmm.
When Mom died and y'all went to go see him, he made no effort to contact me then, so why should I contact him now? And why should I go in and interrupt his family that didn't know about me?
So you don't think anybody but him knows that you are his child.
Right.
So Shelley had an experience. Shelley went to cosmetology school, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happened when you were in school?
There was a girl that looked just like me.
I mean, like how?
It was like looking in the mirror. The only thing is she had freckles. I do not. The same nose, the same face, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Lips, everything.
And so what did you think? Did it kind of freak you out?
Well, at the time, I didn't know about the other dad, And I thought, they always said Dad messed around. And I thought...
You thought she was Jerry's.
Jerry's. But
yes.
Then I was like, oh, and then now it aggravates me because I don't remember her name.
You don't know her name.
She even has, I have naturally curly hair.
Oh, yeah.
Curly hair. And she did too.
Wow. And so Shelley, that was one of the first things I said to her when she told me. I cried. And not so much like, I think I was sad, not that, because it doesn't change a thing. Like, to me, I'm like, you're my whole heart and sister. Like, I would die for you. Like, you are my sister in every sense of the word. I think what made me sad was, like, that we didn't know our genetics, and I felt kind of lied to in that sense. And I also felt like that we deserved to know that when Mom died, I was 32, and you were, what, 28, 29?
29.
28, 29.
28 when she passed.
You were 28, so I was 31. That's what it was. I was 31 years old when Mom died, because I was trying to think, and I felt like we were old enough, obviously, that should have been something. It was a big secret. And like I said, there was one time I didn't know you ever had that conversation. You never told me that. I did not know about that whole, like, oh, I knew that she had slipped one time with me and said that she had had an affair to make my dad jealous, but that, and then she was like, no, you know, and then she denied it. So with us being biological, when you got the ancestry DNA test, how did you figure out? Did it just because you saw my name and you saw like half sister?
Yes.
Or
well, it didn't come up siblings, so it came up first cousins or possible half sisters.
So what did you think? Were you just like?
Well, at first I thought cousins. Hell, we're cousins. And then I thought. Then when I read more,
You
I was
just
like,
swore. Sorry, you guys. It's okay. No, it's okay. She goes, hell, we're cousins? Hell. Sorry.
So then when I read more, it said possible half sisters.
Okay. And then you were probably
Just think we could be kissing cousins.
Oh my gosh, that's weird. Well, you know, we are from North Carolina. You never know. Not just kidding. Forgive us if you're from North Carolina, but you know it's just a joke. We love you. But I think for anything, I think we have been so connected our whole life. Like, I mean, you know how like some people talk to like their kids every day, or Shelley and I have never been able to do that because we both are very, very busy, but we have such a connection. Like, it's just weird in a way, like, if that makes any sense. Like, I think because of everything we went through, and what I think I love about you is that you have continued to love Mom and me both, like, just unconditionally. Like, we're not mad at our moms, guys. Just to be honest, like, I have no hard feelings. Like, the fact that Mom wasn't able, like, to ever come to anything or to do those things, like, I think we just had a lot of, like, not sympathy, but like, oh gosh, I don't even know what the word would be, but we just knew that, like, she was so broken, you guys, and we loved her regardless. And sometimes we'd say, oh gosh, you guys, I've got to share this. This is bad for me, but I'm going to share it. So my mom did some crazy things. Oh my gosh. Do you remember the time she burned that guy's clothes out in the so my mom had a boyfriend. This was after my dad. She found out he was cheating on her. So my mom, like I said, she just, you know, she had some little issues, like, you know, and so she threw out, he lived with us at the time, and she threw out every one of his clothing into the driveway and set everything on fire. I thought that was normal. Like, I remember, like, thinking that was normal. That was not normal, Shelley. That was not normal. But yeah, it's life.
And then next week they'd get back together, and she'd have to buy him a whole new wardrobe.
Yep.
They'd split back up, and then I remember she cut them up into pieces.
Yeah, she cut them up.
Cut the crotches out of all of it.
Yeah, she cut the crotches out.
And then we went over to his place and slung them all in the yard.
Yep.
And I was young. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, she probably did. We did.
And I think I probably did that kind of, not to that.
Oh, did you cut out crotches out of people's
No, but I'm
pants?
saying I probably revenged some old boyfriends back in the past that I think back now and laugh and go, that's the way I was taught to do.
You know what I had to overcome? I don't know if you know this about me. So our mom always had to go hide. We went hiding all the time from our dad. Like, there were times I remember sleeping on people's couches and being in the car. And I don't know if you ever remember sleeping in the car, like when we didn't have places to go and different. I don't know if you remember that.
I don't remember that.
Or trailers. We'd always go to other people's home. Like, we'd, like, if we needed to and we didn't have a place, we'd go to, like, I remember sleeping on going to a trailer that somebody was a friend of Mom's. And you guys, I'm not even kidding. Mom did some crazy stuff, but she would always, like, run. So I did that my whole marriage to Tyler. I'm going to be honest. Like, when we would get in a fight, this girl was gone. I'd be like, see you. Like, I would literally take my kids and go to a hotel all the time. Something you guys don't know about. Like, if I felt like, if I ever, like, my biggest fear was being in a house where somebody would, like, hit me and beat me. And also, like, I was so paranoid that my kids would be sexually abused. I don't know, you probably didn't have that like I did, but I would always, before my kids I would say, okay, nobody ever touches you. You're like, I just, like, had a lot of things just that I had to process. This has been in the last 10 years of my life that we never talked about the sexual abuse. We never talked about those things because for many, many years, I thought I was dirty. And what did I do? Why did my own biological, you guys, Jerry is my biological dad. I can't fathom. I don't know why he chose to do that. But the interesting thing is he did not come after Shelley, but he was more physically abusive with you than he was with me. Because I got hit and different things, but not like you. Like you, I'm surprised she's alive because she's a little smart, but you are so feisty. And I mean, sometimes I would just say, Shelley, be quiet. Just be quiet. Because he would say, you want me to hit you? And she'd go, hit me. And I'd go, oh my gosh, like you were so bad, so bad. I want you to know that, like, secrets, you know, one of the things that I'm thankful that with this all coming out is I feel like the secrets now are out there. Like, they weren't our secret. They were the secret that was kept from us. But I just really felt like I talked to Shelley when she got here and I said, can we talk about this? Because I feel like we have got to be willing to share, you know, not only the things that you went through, because I think our failures and falling down and not be ashamed of where we come from too. Like, and I believe you grow through what you go through. I truly believe that. We just grew up with so many lies and to be honest with you, like, who knows, you know? And I just think being with, especially now, like, if our mom would have known that we could find out, literally, you know, I was 31. So 20 years after Mom passed away, I find out that we are cousins. No, we're not cousins, you guys. At first we thought that. But I definitely think she wanted to tell you, just not so you know, Shelley.
Well, I think the day that she seen that show, I mean, that she did tell me then. Well, she said she was unsure, but there's the possibility.
So she said you knew that there was a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
But did she also tell you, but she thought Jerry was your dad?
Well, she did, because she said I act just like him, but...
No. That's kind of crazy. No. She does not act like Jerry, but, yeah. So, with that in mind, that was kind of deep, but you're okay with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with her, you guys, even though at first I thought she should reach out, but then when Shelley explained her reasoning to me, then I changed my mind, because I agree. Like, I would never, ever, ever want, like you said, to disrupt somebody's life. My only concern was I wish that Shelley could know her genetic makeup from your biological dad, because you don't know anything. You have no idea. And so, for example, our mother died of a brain aneurysm when she was 52. I'm 51. That scares me, you guys. I mean, yeah, she had, high blood pressure, and she had different things, but still, like, I think knowing your genetic makeup is important. And so, but I do respect and see why you don't want to do that. Like, I completely get it. And I'm also a firm believer that just because you have a biological father, that doesn't make them a dad.
No.
And so, so basically we both grew up with no dads. Like, it was never like, when our dad finally left our mom, and I think he was ordered by court to pay $50. Was it a week or a month?
A month.
$50 a month, and our dad was very wealthy. And I remember he, on the bottom of the check, I will never forget this, he had on the memo, "For the bastards." You remember that? Oh, you remember that? I didn't know if you knew that.
Well, that is something Mom always shared with us, and something I didn't ever want to share with
I didn't
my
know. Okay.
girls.
Yeah.
My divorce is the feelings I had for their dad. Meaning, like, I didn't put him down, or I tried not to, because I remember what it felt like Mama sharing that with us.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. I do agree with that.
Not that at times they didn't hear me in arguments or fussing about him, but I did try to keep that behind closed doors where they didn't hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, in a way, do you at all, like, do you think you will ever reconsider just for the health reasons, like the genetics, knowing, like, or just like, no?
For me, no.
Okay.
And probably by the time that I would make that decision, he could be gone.
Uh-huh.
He could be gone now, I don't know.
Okay.
But in today's society, luckily with the computers and social media, if my daughters or my grandchildren ever needed something, I would then reach out for the answers.
Okay, yeah. So you're not saying, like...
For me personally, no, I would not reach out. But for my daughters or for my grandchildren,
yeah.
I would reach out.
Okay, yeah. I agree. So, yeah, so that is what we, our sister kind of like vlog, our kind of like, I think when I hear sisters not close, or they're like, it was just us, I really always go, oh my gosh, like, I really just think that he might have a relative that needs you as a family. Oh, so, see, like, I get it. I don't know if they need Shelley. Just kidding. I'm kidding. I love her. I'm just kidding. Shelley's amazing. She really is. You guys, I can tell you, I haven't shared this, like, my kids knew, because I felt like this was something, like, I wanted to make sure, because I didn't feel like it was my story to tell, even though she is my sister. This is her story. If she wanted to be able to say, yeah, I found out that, my dad was not the man that I was told was my dad my whole life. So I thought that was her story. But do you know how many people are finding out that they have half brothers and all kinds of stuff. Like, it's crazy, you guys. I hear stories all the time from people I know. Like, I know somebody that found out he had a sister. He never knew his mom had had a baby that, like, lived down the street from him. Like, have you heard any of that craziness? It's going on, you guys. So Shelley is the one who called me on Sunday. I will never forget it. I was at church, and for some reason, I felt like I was supposed to, it was weird. And we lived like literally maybe a half a block from church. And I remember my kids and everybody there, I just was like, I gotta go, and I had to go home for something. I went home, and which was really weird. Tyler went home with me. He followed me because I didn't really, it was weird, really kind of probably weird. And Shelley called me up, and I'll never forget it. And she goes, I remember what you said to me to this day. Do you remember what you said to me?
What?
You said, I answered the phone, and you said, Teresa, mama's dead. Mom, and I'm like, I literally fell on the ground. I'm like, no. She goes, come home. You kept telling me to come home. You're like, Sissy, come home. Oh, she called me Sissy. Sissy, come home. Sissy, come home. And I'm bawling, and I am literally like, I lost my mind. Like, I was just like, whoa. And I remember getting it was like a miracle. I got a flight home that day. That was crazy. And I just remember, Sissy, come home. And I was home for 4 weeks because Mom, first of all, she died unexpectedly. And Mom was, if you could have been on the show Hoarders, Mom would have been on Hoarders. Let's just be honest. And that was, not only was losing Mom so traumatic, because I'll be honest, I was 31. And my mom was 51 at the time. 52. Why did I say 51? 52, sorry. And so my situation and my thought was like, I felt like, of course, if you would have known, we would have asked Mom more things. We would have probably said, hey, tell us about this, do this. And I just kept thinking, like, it's too late, you know. I didn't even ever think about sharing it, but part of me was like, I just think that lies and secrets are not good. And I think we've come a long ways. I don't know about you, but I'm just grateful for life, because I know my dad was pretty much making my mom have an abortion with me. And so, she said that she was even in the car to go get an abortion, and she couldn't go through with it, and that he'd beat her a couple times when she was pregnant with me. Like, and so I'm just grateful to be alive. And I think that's how I look at it too. And like, you know, you can't pick your parents, and I'm glad. I honestly wish things had been different, but at the same time, I love Mom, and I think I'm who I am because of everything. I'm hoping that our kids don't have to deal with that as much. You know, because I think now people are...
Well, no, did you have an affair?
No, I didn't. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
Our kids know who their daddies are.
Did you know I have more children than you know? Can you imagine? I have 5 by birth. Okay, anyway, I love your sister. Sister. Bye, you guys. Love you. Good night.